On August 30th, 2025, just several weeks after his military discharge, BTS Jungkook once again became the target of a trespassing incident at his home in Yongsan, Seoul. And this time, it wasn't a foreign fan. It was a Korean woman in her 40s who followed a car into his private parking lot late at night. And security footage caught her, and police arrested her on the spot. And yeah, it was a second trespassing incident in just 3 months. And that raises an urgent question. Why is JK's home being targeted again and again? And what does that say about the fan culture? Okay, I'm not even going to say fan culture. It's Sasaeng behaviors and privacy protections in Kpop and in Korea today. So according to the police, the woman entered the parking garage around 11:20 p.m. By tailgating a vehicle into the complex. And a security guard monitoring CCTV noticed her suspicious behavior and called police immediately. When she was confronted, the woman reportedly gave incoherent answers, claiming she was just visiting a friend's house. And she's now under investigation for trespassing. And that was the article by MBN News, exclusive article that was released today on August 31st. So 11:20 p.m. August 30th? Wait, so okay, that was a day after Jungkook's live stream. That happened on August 29th at night. Okay, interesting. And also, according to another article, it was a woman in her 40s, a Korean woman. Now, this case comes only after three months after the June 11th incident. Remember, when a Chinese woman in her 30s was arrested for repeatedly trying to enter Jungkook's front door by pressing his passcode on the day of his military discharge. And that case is still under legal review. And according to the Korean media articles that were released today on August 31st, prosecutors recently decided to forward it without detention. Prosecutors did that on the 27th of this month of August. So, in other words, within just 90 days, 2 different women have been caught attempting to enter Jungkook's home. So this is no longer an isolated incident. Now the truth is, Jungkook has been vocal about Sasaeng invasions for years. He's dealt with prank calls during live streams, fans showing up at his gym, food delivery harassment, and even viewers lurking outside his house. And time and again, he's pleaded with those. Please don't come to my home. So let's go back to the very beginning and see how Jungkook's words have changed as incidents piled up. I think I talked about this last time too. So April 2022. 2022? Yeah, 2022. It started during BTS Permission to Dance concert in Las Vegas. So Jungkook was live from his hotel room when the landline phone suddenly rang. Once, then again, then again. So he realized it was Sasaeng prank calls, and he said, "Please don't prank call me. I really hate that ringtone. It feels like a horror movie. It gives me chills. It makes me uncomfortable." And he directly addressed the prank caller. "Hey, you are watching this right now, aren't you? Stop it. I really hate that ringtone." And what was once just an annoying intrusion in a hotel room, eventually, that alone is scary. I wonder how they even got the numbers. But that eventually followed him back home. So almost a year later, Jungkook opened up after being startled outside his gym. This was March 2023, Weverse Live. And he said, "I wasn't going to say this, but I'm so thankful for people supporting me and having interest in me. I really am, but please don't come find me when I'm working out. I was so surprised last time. I was about to go home, but there were people outside the gym. It wasn't an official schedule, so that's not right." And he added that he appreciates the love, but emphasized that it's not a good thing to do, and that it startled him. He ended by saying, I know I'm drunk. I turn alive when I think of armies at home, eating or working out. But when you come find me, that's not right." And I would say that's an understatement, saying it's not right. Now, the invasions weren't just in public spaces. They began reaching into his personal home address. So this was May 4th, 2023. Jungkook revealed that Sasaengs were sending food deliveries straight to his home. So he posted this on Weverse with the firm warning. Don't send food delivery to my home. I won't eat it even if you send it. I'm grateful for the thought, but I can take care of myself. Please eat it yourselves. If it happens again, I will check the receipt and order number and take action. So stop it. Yeah, and I've heard that there are like tons of food deliveries outside his home, and that's just ridiculous. And by autumn, things escalated again, with his home address openly circulating online. So while casually chatting with fans and sipping a drink, Jungkook joked. This was October 4th, 2023. You want to drink with me? Should I just give you my address? He said jokingly, but he quickly turned serious by saying, you all know my address already, don't you? It's already out there. If you search on YouTube, it will probably come up. And he went on. At this point, I don't care anymore. I just think of it as my fate and keep looking ahead. I will only look toward ARMY and the future. But seriously, don't come to my house. And just 2 months later, his tone hardened even more. So this was December 8th, 2023. He turned on a live stream after workout. And that night, Jungkook didn't sugarcoat it. He said, even nowadays, there are sasaengs in front of my house. Stop coming, you bastard. 이 새끼들아. And this was one of the rare times he used harsher language out of visible frustration, although he said it a bit jokingly with a laugh. I think by that point, he was like, whatever. Which is frustrating for fans. Because Sasaeng behavior is crossed the line too much. Now, when he took a short break from military service in 2024, remember this one? He raised the issue again, this time with millions watching. December 18th, 2024. After sharing some updates, he showed his new home, but immediately raised concerns about Sasaeng behavior. He said, I saw on YouTube that news about my move to a new home, and even the completion of my house is already out there. Since I have moved, I just hope no one tries to come visit my home. Please, I'm asking sincerely. If you send packages to my home address, I won't be able to receive them. They will all have to be returned. If you really want to send me letters, please send them to the company. I will make sure they are collected there. And he added that fans were even sending packages to his military base. A lot of packages come to the unit, but I can't accept them. Many of them are food, and that's obviously not allowed. I'm so thankful for the thought, but I ask you to refrain. As you all know, this is a sensitive matter. So, from prank calls in hotel rooms to food deliveries at his front door to leaked addresses and now actual break-in attempts, Jungkook's words over the years paint a clear picture. He's been asking for the same thing over and over. It's been consistent. Don't come to my house. Don't cross the boundary. But despite repeated warnings, the invasions keep escalating. And this second incident, this was the first one back in June, and this is the second one in August. It makes it clear. Sasaeng culture, is that even the right word here? This isn't just about overzealous fans anymore. It's about the real safety of artists who should be able to live without constant intrusion. Now, some people might wonder whether Jungkook showing glimpses of his home on Weverse might make certain Sasaengs feel a distorted sense of familiarity. You know what I'm saying? And he showed around his home on August 29th as well, right? He basically gave fans a virtual tour right here. The subtitles on?
안방은
not yet.
작은 곳이라 내가 보여줄 수 없지. 아무튼 그렇다.
Yeah.
내 옷 다 검은 거.
Okay.
그렇다.
So it's a nice home, but I wonder, maybe showing around his home on Weverse might make certain Sasaengs feel a distorted sense of familiarity. And it's important to be clear, this is not about blaming him for sharing his space. I mean, he can do whatever he wants. But that would be like telling victims of crime that they should have acted differently to avoid being targeted. And I don't think that's the right thing to say, because the responsibility always lies with those who cross the line. But from a psychological perspective, maybe it helps explain the mindset of obsessive sasaengs. Because in parasocial relationships, even a small look at a private space, like a wall, a room corner, a kitchen shelf, or in this case, like his living rooms, can feed the illusion of closeness. And for ordinary fans, it's just a fun peek. But for unstable ones, maybe it lowers the barrier between idol on screen and person in a house I can access, like in this case. So in their distorted logic, trespassing can start to feel less like breaking the law and more like visiting someone I already know. And that's actually the things that these individuals allegedly said. This is why the issue isn't whether idols share too much. It's that unhealthy individuals twist ordinary openness into entitlement. And that's exactly why stronger cultural boundaries and legal protections are needed. So idols like JK don't have to censor themselves just to feel safe. Now, the question now is, how many more incidents will it take before there's stronger security, stricter enforcement, and real accountability? And yes, Korea does have an Anti-Stalking Act. In theory, trespassing and harassment can lead up to 3 years in prison or heavy fines. But in practice, punishments are often light, especially for first-time offenders who do not use violence. So maybe the bigger problem isn't just the law itself, but a culture that often trivializes or tolerates extreme fan behavior. Jungkook should not have to normalize fear in his own home. And his military discharge at the time should have been a time of celebration, but it became another moment of intrusion. And the day after he did a live stream, once again, something ridiculous happened, scary happened. Now, let me end with a bigger picture. So on August 20th, 2025, Korean President Lee Jae-myung went on Arirang TV's Kpop The Next Chapter. It was a program titled, with Twice Jonghyun, Jihyo, and K-pop Demon Hunters director Maggie Kang, and producer RT and music critic Kim Young-dae. And President Lee described K-pop as a force-like democracy, something that thrives when people communicate freely, and promised that government's role should be to support, not interfere. And he spoke about expanding arenas, nurturing K-food and K-beauty, and building cultural industries as Korea's next great economic engine. But what stood out to me was what never came up. If K-pop really is the next chapter of Korea's global identity, then the Sasaeng issue deserves to be part of that discussion too, I think. Because the dangers idols face aren't limited to physical security. They are reinforced every day in the digital sphere as well. Comment threads that normalize gossip and chip away at their character, and media outlets that chase clicks with sensational headlines about private lives. And this is where policy could step in, theoretically, stronger guidelines about trespassing against public figures, faster prosecution of repeat offenders, and harsher penalties for doxing or leaking private details online could make a real difference. And on the media side, I don't know, ethical rules supposedly already exist, but they need enforcement so that headlines stop fueling the same invasive culture. And if the president is right that government should nurture the soil so content can grow, then part of that soil has to be safety. Artists can't create freely, create content or music freely if they are constantly worried about who's waiting outside their homes. And support for K-pop can't just mean building bigger stages. It also means protecting the people who stand on them. So I don't know, maybe the real next chapter in K-pop isn't only about expanding into food, beauty, or Netflix collaborations. It's about proving that Korea can be a cultural powerhouse, so to say, while also ensuring that its artists can live with safety and dignity, free from harassment, both online and offline. So the question is, where do we go from here? Should Korea's Anti-Stalking Act be strengthened to protect public figures more effectively? Should platforms and media outlets be held accountable for fueling the culture that normalizes intrusion? And should agencies themselves take greater responsibility in building real systems of protection? And perhaps, like, another question is, the better question, hardest question, maybe, can fandom culture, both online and offline, evolve in a way that shows love, affection, without crossing into harm? So let me end with that. Let me know what you think about this whole cases. But when you leave comments, let's stay positive, respectful, and classy. See you guys later. Bye-bye.